And let's start with body awareness and ground awareness. Each out breath is a releasing breath. And if we go further, deeper into body awareness, basically a mental scan of the body, but if we do it very orderly, sequentially, starting with the feet, consciously releasing the feet, including letting the bones of the feet open, spread apart. And we can just let the weight, our own body weight, be enough to release and open. Hello. So letting the falling weight itself be enough to open and release and soften the feet.
Hey, Luann.
Hello.
Hi.
And then ankles, same process for the ankles. Consciously softening, releasing the ankle joints. Then once in a while, from moment to moment, move your awareness, jump your awareness back up through the length of your body to just make sure nothing has collapsed too much or slumped. And then, so lengthening and forming the shape of your body as we go along, so that you're not falling into disarray as you're focusing on a specific part of the body. So ankles releasing, softening. Calves, shins, the lower legs, consciously releasing. So no doubt we're standing right now with extra work and tension in the calves, right? And in the feet too. So from the lower legs down, calves, shins, ankles, feet, try and notice, even if it's a relatively small amount, whatever amount it is, holding onto the ground with the feet, or the holding, tensing in the calves and shins to hold yourself up. So explore how much of that you can release and still be standing. So releasing feet, ankles, shins, calves. It's a huge, probably a huge amount of effort and tension you can release and still be standing. So exploring that line, how much can you release and let go and soften? And that's discovering how much extra stuff was there that we didn't need. Release, relax the abdomen, breathe. Moving your awareness into your knees, knee joints, kneecap, ligaments, tissues around the knee joints. And exploring, playing with the idea, feeling, and observation. How much can you let go in the knees? How much can you just let go and without you falling to the ground? So you want to go right to that edge, right to that edge. How much of the lower legs, including the knees now, from the knees down, how much can you just let go? Completely release that line just before you fall, collapse to the ground. Going right to that fine line. Surely you can release more in the knees, more in the lower legs, without actually falling to the ground. Release the abdomen, open, lengthen the body, release from the knees down. Moving your awareness into the upper legs, thighs. Again, noticing how much holding, tightness is there. Release, let go. And you might normally, getting good at releasing at least a superficial amount of tension. But push it to that fine, fine line. How much can you let go to the point where you're just at that line where you're falling to the ground, collapsing to the ground? And bring that into the hips. The joints of the hips, the heavy muscles and tissues of the hips. Let go, let go, let go. And then surely you can let go more. Use the out breath to help you release a bit more. And surely you can release even more. If one of us falls to the ground in a clump, it's like, okay, maybe you went past that, maybe you went over that line, but that's good learning too. So you pull yourself up and maybe not go quite that far yet. But since we're all still standing, there's probably more we can release. From the hips down. Specifically moving into the abdomen, torso. Release, 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 especially on the out breath. Enjoy the fact that unconscious tension is becoming conscious. Oh, okay, it's a little bit tight there. Or, oh, okay, I just released a packet of tension where just a second ago, that was unconscious tension. And now it's conscious, whether you released it or not, even if you, oh, I still sense there's some there, but can't quite touch it to release it, but I sense it, that's all good. And enjoy, revel in the fact of observing, discovering, noticing what was unconscious tension. And now it's conscious. And moving your awareness to the lower back. Pour down the lower back. Release down the lower back, and that should lengthen and flatten your lower back automatically for you. Just having this intentional flow, releasing, opening, releasing, pouring down. And surely you can release more. No doubt. There's more you can release. And then abdomen, lower back, hips, legs, all the way down through the feet. There's more you can release, if you're willing. Especially on the out breath. Moving to the mid-back. Focus your awareness into the mid-back. Employ the yi, the intention, the volition, consciously choosing to release those long muscles, the lumbar area, thorax area. Pour the muscles down, let them turn to liquid as much as you can. And once you start to do that, you'll find that that self-informs and self-adjusts other parts of your body to help facilitate that opening, flowing, releasing even more. Notice the self-correcting that happens as you work certain areas of your body. Let me know if you have any questions. Moving to the chest. Consciously soften and release the chest. As we've talked about in specifically 1 or 2 classes recently, emptying the chest, sinking the chest, letting the tissues of the chest pour down. Again, recently we talked about the yin-yang pairing. The chest pushes the lower back open. Emptying, releasing the chest, fills the lower back. Specifically as well right now, looking at how much can you let go, let go, let go. See if you can go right to that line, right at where you're just about to just fall, crumble down to the ground. Let that chest go. Moving your awareness to the broadness of the upper back. Continuing to gently coax the heavy muscles and structure of the upper back to release, 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 release. I guess, again, nice imagery is imagining, feeling, being willing to allow your shoulder blades to slide down, fall into your back pockets. How much can you allow that to happen? Releasing on the out breath. Noticing the line of tension that you just can't release right now, this moment or today, and ride that line. So whatever level your scapula is held up, whatever level the shoulder blades are pulled in towards each other, notice that line where you just can't seem to dissolve through and release through, and hanging out at that line of release and not willing to be able to release, that's leading edge. That's abiding on the edge of development and progression. Your awareness, your Ting, is right on that line of what's possible for you right now to release. And that means you can see on the other side of that line, that tension there, I can't really let go. Hovering there, abiding there, is going to have a cascading effect over time, releasing that. Again, it will never be released. In fact, it will increase in tension when we're unconscious of that reality in there. Just having our consciousness ride that line, being at that place where releasing as much as possible, can't release any more than that, at least not right this moment. Just abiding at that line, just hovering your awareness there, is the progression, is the releasing over time. It will happen. It's like sun rays on the iceberg. It is gentle, ongoing melting. It is perpetual melting. It is a given. It will melt. It is melting as we speak. You might not be able to notice it. Just having your attention there is starting the process of release. Of course, it has to be continuous, ongoing. Moving your awareness to your shoulders. How much can you release the shoulder joints and the shoulder muscles? Challenging yourself, how much am I willing to let go? Are you willing to let your arms hang, fall right to the ground? Be willing to let, from the emptiness of the shoulder joint, from right inside the shoulder joint, be willing to let your arms right from there fall right to the ground, land on the ground beside you. How much are you willing to let that happen? Releasing the abdomen. Scanning the body quickly, lower back, see what has changed and crimped up or compromised. Do a quick adjustment, releasing, opening, pouring down through the body. Let those arms hang right to the ground. Releasing the abdomen. Moving into the neck. Invading the neck with your awareness. And just the presence of your awareness is already starting the process of unspindling the neck. Just the presence of your awareness is starting the process of triggering, releasing deep in the neck muscles, tissues of the neck, right into the vertebrae. Just the presence of your awareness is a catalyst. You'll feel that eventually. Just being there with your Ting, just being there, your awareness, starts the melting of the iceberg, or starts the catalyst of unspindling. And right from below the base of the skull, from the space between the base of the skull and the top vertebrae, let everything hang from there. Release the abdomen. Flow your awareness up to the back of the scalp, sides of the scalp, top of the scalp. Release as much as you possibly can, and maybe a bit more. Ride that line of possibility. How much can you release the scalp? Bring your awareness, flow the awareness warmly into the forehead and brow. Discover and play with how much can you release. the game of how much can you possibly let go and release. And now around the eyes, cheeks and jaw, and even the tongue. How much can you just let go? So your jaw is about to hit the ground. Your tongue is about to land flat on the floor. How much can you get close to that actually happening? Breathe and release. And gently rock out. We'll take a little mini break from that. That's a lot of focus. It's a lot of tinging. Takes a lot of work and energy, especially at firsts. So a little release, little break. Any comments or questions?
I really liked, the language you used was something like riding the line of possibility. Because, as we went through this, what was fascinating to me was hitting that line in my quads. And watching that evolve and change as you guided us through, especially the upper body, feeling like coming to a place of like beyond what that line had been at the beginning. When we first went through the legs, there was, it was easy to find the line because the tension was really palpable. And it seemed to shift without me focusing on the legs, but as different things released, that it seemed like more became possible, releasing it there.
Nice. And that speaks to me about a lot of developing Ting. Like to notice that is really getting subtly, deeply, finely in the body. Like that's a lot of deep sensitivity and awareness. So that's really developing. That's excellent. And that's the main technology, is that developing of that awareness, that sensitivity. Ting is the most important principle of all. Of all. More important than anything else. Because without Ting, without developing that deeper awareness, more refined awareness, you can't song. You can't release without Ting. You can't know ground force without Ting. You can't develop the ground path without Ting, without inner awareness, inner listening. So when you're speaking of that, it just reveals to me how much that inner awareness is refining and getting sharper and clearer and finer. And that is the key. Right? Like almost literally the key that unlocks it. I say almost literally because like a key that unlocks something, unlocks the body. So that is the most important thing. The most important thing. It's more important than any other principle. So let's come back to that and go through that a little bit more. Well, I'll say swiftly, but I don't want to mean superficially. So if we come back to standing shape, configuration, posture. Same thing, but we're just going to spend less time. And especially because we went through a good amount of time going through it fairly deeply, thoroughly. Now when you touch your mind there, again, touch your awareness there, you ting there just for a second, you'll get a lot of release more than what you could have before. Actually, this is echoing what you had said actually just now, where when you went back to it, things had changed and released a lot more, or just bringing the awareness there, just back again, all of a sudden there's more release. And of course, this accumulates over time. It's an accumulative process. If you're consistent with the training, if you're really consistent, then it just takes just a fleeting thought and you get all that release. So moving our awareness and our feeling awareness, our presence. That's what I mean by feeling awareness. Moving our presence into the feet. And let's let our simple presence, just the act of our awareness, is the trigger to release. So I'm not going to mention so much release, let go, song, soften, empty, relax. I'm not going to mention that too much. Just the arriving of the presence is the trigger for all of that. So arriving at the feet and in the feet as you hang out and breathe. Arriving into the ankle joints. Noticing the shins and calves. So abiding in the lower legs. Moving into the knees. And just moving into the knees triggers the process of opening, emptying, releasing the knees. Moving your awareness into the upper legs, the thighs. And then again, just briefly touch the whole of the legs, present in the entire legs. And noticing the releasing that just happens. Arriving into the hips, the entire hip girdle. And noticing whatever adjustments and changes that happen for you, just because you arrive with your awareness and presence in the hips and legs. Arriving into the abdomen, noticing the subsequent effects. Hang out, breathe. Flowing into the lower back. How much can you invade the lower back with your presence? How much can you imbue the lower back with your presence and your awareness? Breathe. And into the mid-back. The gift of the presence, gift of presence in the mid-back. Chest. All you have to do is arrive there and then notice. Breathe. Upper back. Consciously arrive there. That's all you have to do. And then notice. And stay there for a moment. Shoulders, arms, wrists and hands. Present there, simply abiding there and noticing as you hang out and breathe. Each out breath is a triggering release. Inflating the neck with your awareness. Noticing the subsequent releasing, opening, lengthening, emptying. Hang out and breathe. Flow your awareness into the scalp, back of the head, sides, the top of the head. Notice the effects, the triggering effects as you hang out and breathe. Flowing into the forehead, face, jaw, and mouth, including the tongue. Notice the softening. Hang out, breathe, release. Now we'll just work our way down. So face, jaw, tongue, forehead. And as you move your awareness itself is a trigger for releasing, emptying, dropping, pouring down, letting go. As you move your awareness to the scalp, immediately there's some level of triggering, of releasing, emptying, pouring down. Maybe not a great deal, but there is some degree of it. Move your awareness to that line. How much can you release? How much can you notice? Into the neck, releasing into and through and down through the neck. Shoulders, arms, hands, fingers. The invading presence that drains the tensions and closedness and tightness. Into the chest. The invading presence that gives automatic, instant permission to release open, empty. Especially on the out breath. Upper back. Invading, filling the upper back with your presence, your clear awareness, your triggering awareness. Triggering, release, open, pouring. Mid-back. Letting gravity work. Agreeing with the influence of gravity, which is pouring down, flowing down, settling. Agreeing with the process of gravity through the upper back, mid-back, and now lower back. Extra releasing on the out breath. Flowing into the abdomen. Notice what happens for you. The immediate, automatic responses, releases. And enjoy those. Let that releasing, pouring, opening, dropping process move into the hips simply by the arrival of your awareness in the hip area. And through the upper legs, knees, lower legs, ankles and feet, including the toes. Enjoy the process, enjoy the releasing. Enjoy whatever happens automatically for you, whatever is triggered instantly and automatically for you, really enjoy that process. It's happening for you. It's a gift. It's a gift that's accumulating, developing through work, but you are already receiving some level of gifts from that work. So really revel in that, enjoy that. Enjoy the process that happens. And scan the entire body as a whole. Invade the entire body with your conscious presence. And notice and appreciate what happens. Anywhere, specifically, and all places globally. Whatever comes up in your awareness, whatever you notice. Big breath in, long breath out. A couple more deep breaths, gently rock out. Staying in your body, staying with your awareness. Any comments or questions? So let's take that into a little bit of movement. Stationary parting horse's mane. Start with the weight on the back leg. So start with basically a one-legged standing posture. So in other words, make sure you're not kinked or leaning in any way whatsoever. It's the same as our standing. The weight just happens to be mainly in one leg, the back leg. So take a moment to get all the standing stuff that we work with. And notice what isn't congruent with what we know we want with the standing. For example, has my hip moved out a little bit? Am I standing locked, knee and or hip locked? Am I coming up anywhere, coming in and up to any degree because I'm standing on one leg? No doubt that's happening to some degree. So remind yourself to hang out, release, because this will happen normally, naturally, as soon as you move to one leg. So notice how much you can notice that. Notice how much you can notice. As you hold the ball ready for parting horse's mane, notice how much you've come in or you've come up holding the ball. Hang out from the string, get all those things that we have in standing. And whenever you're ready, notice the abdomen. Notice what's happened there. Whenever you're ready, start to move into slow, very slow, parting horse's mane, forward and back. Hang out, release the abdomen. Now, what I'd like you to do is, again, go to that line of permission, that line of possibility. How much, or maybe better put, how less can I stand with? So no doubt you're holding yourself up to one degree or another. Go to that line where if you went a tiny bit more, you'd fall to the ground. You'd fall down that leg you're standing on. So ride that line where you're letting go of everything. Right up to that line where you're about to just fall to the ground. Make sure that doesn't mean that you're slagging, slogged, collapsed. Okay, relax, relax, relax. Everything's open and empty. Take it out of the hip, take it out of the leg until you're almost about to fall to the ground. Keep that as you move forward and back. Now, the same sort of idea with the arms, in that, ride that line where your arms, your body does not move. Right up to that line where your arms would not move. So you go right to that line. So even though we have one leg forward now, one leg back, we have a stance and we're shifting the weight forward and back. Same idea from the standing where minimize, where you're just less than a hairbreadth from just falling straight down vertically, straight down to the ground. And just at that line where there's no movement in your arms. The minimal amount of stuff, muscle, stuff in the arms. Take it out, take it out. Right up to the line where there's no movement. Right up to that line where there's no movement, where you're just back to just standing. And whenever you want, you can do the other side. But whenever you do go to the other side, take a few moments to wait on the back leg and take that as a one-legged standing. Check everything out, releasing, minimizing, and take that minimalizing into the movement itself. Minimal, in every way, in every angle, and every concept, every flavor. Minimal. Still letting the posture be open and spacious. No doubt you can take more muscle out of it. No doubt you can probably stand with less. You get closer to that line of taking muscle tension out, closer to that line of not standing up. Now, stationary brush knees. Especially with brush knees, we want to make sure that we don't have that the leaning forward. You're hanging out. You're just vertical clarity, vertical clearness. You're just a moving verticality. So all you are, just a moving column of verticality. Just a moving verticalness. Just a moving verticalness through which gravity works purely and cleanly. So you don't have to do anything except be a verticalness. And gravity works cleanly, purely, automatically, naturally. It's nature itself. Notice when you come into contraction or come into efforting, the only efforting is the intentional, volitional challenge of how much less can I do? How much can I release? How minimal can I be? How vertical can I be? So there is the volition of mind to release, 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 minimize physically, optimize structurally, alignment-wise. Has nothing to do with the muscles, except that the muscles are in the way. And if you haven't, you can switch legs. First, start out like one-legged standing. So there's a problem if we go into movement. We want to start with standing. And then see how much you lose once you start going into movement, and how much you can keep, and how much you can get back that you want to keep. So again, deepening Ting, deepening finer awareness. How much are you contracting? How much are you pulling in? How much are different areas tightening up? Slowing down, maybe even going back to stationary standing for a moment, wherever you are, to release, release, align and open. Minimize. In this case, our theme is minimizing, minimizing. For example, if I stop right here, I'm on my way through Breshner here. My shoulders are down, my elbows are down, tailbone's hanging, belly's released. But you know what? There's more I can take out of the arms. There we go. There's more I can take out of the arms. My shoulder joints just really expanded right there when I did that. Now, not this. Okay, take it out of the arms. That's collapsing. It's not inting. So here, arms are up, not too bad, but I'm actually holding up my arms compared to this. So right here, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Oh, that's a little bit too much. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Just before this happens. We have arm swings, right? We're doing arm swings. We're doing arm swings, but not quite. So here, right there, right there, right there, okay? Right there. Make sense? It's right here. That point right there. That point right there. Okay.
Yeah, what's so interesting in that, like the arm swing, is like then you feel the brightness of the skeleton that creates that lift.
Ah, nice trigger. Nice trigger to awareness. Very nice. Okay, well, I see we're going to run out here of time, so let's just finish with centered awareness, alignment, and take that awareness you just mentioned and just discovered, and let's just dwell with that, or whatever awareness that's there for you right now. Take the next few moments just to emphasize that in our standing. Emphasizing it in our standing. Whatever awareness has shown itself to you, stay with that, to incubate that, to cultivate that.